day and welcome to another segment of On the Bench. Here today I'm going to bring you Adam's dry fly, one of the most popular dry flies ever tied. This one I'm going to use a dubbing noodle for the body. A little different technique I wanted to bring to some of our viewers. I know we had some interest in that, so we'll go over the materials as we go along and tie this fly. I'm going to be using a size 14 dry fly hook, and we'll come in here, we'll dress the hook with some 8/0 gray thread right to near the bend. The tailing material, I'm going to use some Cocktail Leon saddle hackle here. It's a very nice stiff hackle with some nice coloration to it. Great tying material. Come in with that. Catch it in here at the rear. And then we'll come to the front here. We're going to put in a mallard wing. You want to get a feather with fairly straight tips at the end there. Get kind of a square end on it, if you will. That was not the best one, but it'll work. Cut that off at an angle. Go over the butts. Tie it upright. Just get a few turns in front. Then I'll divide it in half. Take a couple of figure eights. I can stand it up. I'm going to get my hackle in here too. That's going to help that considerably. I'll put in a dubbing loop. Get a loop spinner, dubbing spinner there. And then our next step is we'll get our dubbing, and this is going to be Semper Fine dubbing from Semper Fly. Kind of a long fiber. Pull some of that out. And it gives it nice segmentation. A little blue flash in there somehow will come in the picture. So all I do is roll this between my palms, and it'll kind of taper. Get a nice little taper on it. Look at that piece of flash wants to stay in there, doesn't it? Okay. Now I'll insert the dubbing noodle in here. Just get a couple little turns in there so it doesn't slip out. Put it in between the threads, and then we just spin that up with the dubbing noodle. You see it's going to make a nice little tight little rope. I want to wind that forward. We're going to get a taper and our segmentation. And with the first turn, because I've wound it one direction, it wants to kind of roll off the back. And what I should have done is twisted it actually in reverse. What I then wouldn't do that, but it's coming in nice. You see the taper and now the segmentation in it. That's a pretty cool way of doing bodies. You can do some really small flies this way, and it gives a really nice appearance. Come ahead, just to tie those wings back again. Then I'll come in with some of my hackle here, and what I'm going to be using is just some Cree Super Saddle dry fly hackle here. Tie that on behind the wings. Make sure I get those wings so they're not facing too far forward. That's a little better. I'll take a couple turns in behind. Tie them dull side forward, of course, when you're doing dry flies. I'm going to get 2 turns in the front, and then tie that hackle off. And just kind of saw that off there blade of your scissors. That way you don't cut any hackle. Wings looking okay. Now instead of a Mattarelli finish or whip finish, I'm going to use a 1/2 inch tool, and they have them on the end of these bodkin needles a lot of times. Nice little hole there, that's what that's for. And what's nice, you can slip your 1/2 inches. It kind of pushes the hackle back and it keeps the eye of your fly clean. And then you just saw that off with your scissor as well. So it's really a simple little fly to tie with that body. It's one of the better dry fly patterns, and you can see the segmentation in there. And so it's a fly that will do quite well for you, pretty much any water. It's such a good standard fly. So try that dubby noodle in all your dry flies or whatever you wish. It might be easier for you if you're having trouble with some of the dubbing, and also what it does is puts a lot more dubbing on the shank to be a little more floatability, because some dubbing is actually treated to float. So another good thing. So get your little noodles ready to go there and wrap them up. I'd like to thank you again for watching Sport Fishing on the Fly. We'll catch you again real soon.